So I've read different things about when you wash your hands in the morning, or more specifically when you say the bracha. So what I read in Kitzer is
don't do that.
Right. So okay, that was my question. Yeah.
So what else?
What's your question?
When you said when you make the bracha for washing your hands, we'll talk about that.
After a nap, are you supposed to wash your hands and say Modani again?
Okay, we'll do that. Good idea. Good question. Any other questions about your daily things?
I guess my overall question was like, what are the expectations of a Jew, like a working Jew that doesn't study all day and has a job? I know it's different between man and woman, but just the expectations, like overall.
Okay.
I drink water all day long, so when do I have to do the bracha before and after?
Okay. Right. There's no class on brachas, right? This is including
No, this is including brachas.
So blessings too. Oh, so then someone did ask me a question about what is a brachas. Okay.
Yeah, the only other two classes next week is
free for all.
Anything, so you can ask all your weird philosophical questions, and then the following week is going to be on the 3 weeks because it's right before the 3 weeks start.
And I'm telling you, Mickey's going to be here next week, so you better.
Is he really?
Oh yeah, he's been waiting for this.
You can't ask the first question. That's the class.
Questions I ask.
That's why I said you have to pre-submit questions, so
Right.
we know, you know.
So then, are you still taking questions?
Yeah.
Do you eat? You say you're after bracha, and then you realize you got some particle of food in your mouth, and you want to swallow it. Do you say another? I know you don't have to do an after bracha. It's just less precise.
I just did. So
what's the answer?
I just did the answer. I just swallowed it.
Once it's in your mouth.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And this happened to me this year, actually.
Okay.
I went for Yom Kippur. I went to a hotel near Omer Shalom.
Yeah.
Stayed over there so I don't touch the light.
Right.
So as I go into the hotel at night, the guy tells me, okay, you want somebody to open up the door for you. I said, okay. I don't want to touch it because it was electronic.
Yeah.
So I see this guy, he volunteers in the lobby. He takes me all the way to the door. He opens up the door for me. And then I kind of tell myself, is this guy Jewish? I've never seen him before. 24 hours later, he's in shul with me. So I was, you know what I mean? Like, you know, do you allow him to open up the door for you? Would he volunteer?
Well,
You don't. You don't. But Mickey, I said you're coming next week. It was a free for all.
Oh, it's being filmed. I should have come earlier.
So normally you can't. But the problem is you didn't know. And in Atlanta, most people in Georgia are not Jewish, right?
It's a good guess.
Yes. Right?
Yes.
So there's a law of Rove. So if you don't know, you assume a guy is not Jewish unless you have reason to believe he is. So it wasn't your fault when he opened the door.
And he was so static to like get up and like open it for me too. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like,
And he knew why,
I've seen this
too.
guy, like, I've seen him like maybe 10 years ago, but I'm not really sure if if I really saw him.
So this week is questions about the daily life things that a Jew does. Next week is the free for all, Mickey. I was just telling him a minute ago. I said Mickey's going to be here next week with the free for all.
No, I always feel going. But when I went to high school, you could always tell who was Jewish or not at the pool.
How's that?
Because they never got circumcised.
Why would you say
Bill
that?
went to pool naked in your school?
Yes. That was how it is. I mean,
Bill swam naked in your school?
Yeah, the men did. You change. I never saw it. All the non-Jews very rarely were circumcised, so you know who was Jewish and who
Where did you
wasn't.
go to
I was
school?
gonna say it's different now.
Lakeview.
It's different now because even non-Jews get.
Yeah, I mean, then also.
There's a big
This was, we're going back
In
to
Chicago?
We're going back to the
Very
50s.
dangerous.
We're going back a long time.
In Chicago?
Yes.
It's also a long time.
See, our high school, half of it was Jewish and half of it was not Jewish. The Jewish were by Lakeshore, the non-Jewish were west. And somehow we all got together and had a wonderful time.
See, this goes. But you couldn't circumcise them. That's the bottom line. Even though you couldn't say to them, "Hey, by the way, you want a circumcision?" Didn't fly.
No. And,
All right.
No.
Okay, now so I got the questions now. This is going through the daily life of the Jew. Okay, let's start. So now,
I got a good one for you.
okay.
What's the halacha on yarmulkes? I know it's not like a 613 mitzvahs, and it's like it's a minhag. So what's the deal? Why does everyone wear a yarmulke?
Right.
You ask this now after I ordered my yarmulkes for the wedding?
Okay, so now let's go through. So all right, so now
Yours is upside down.
hopefully the first thing you do in the morning is wake up. If you've woken up, you've started your day well. That's good.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a good sign. So when you wake up, you say Modeh Ani. Okay, that's a one-liner. Modeh Ani. Now Modeh Ani means, if in your series, the first thing I mentioned to you before, the story about the Italian guy who converted because he found the Jewish Siddur. He found the Siddur, and he opens up page 1, and it says, "Upon awaking, a Jew says, I gratefully thank you, O living and eternal King, for you have restored my soul within me with compassion. Abundant is your faithfulness." And the guy says, "Oh my gosh, these people are crazy." They wake up, the first thing they say is, "Thanks God." That's what we say. The guy ended up converting because he said, "This is so incredible that who else would think that a first thing you do upon waking is start your audience with God and thanking Him." And that is the way a Jew starts the day. Modeh Ani is therefore a very, very important thing. You know, it sort of colors your day, how your day goes. And I think that maybe now that we're talking about it, maybe we could have this pu'ula tomorrow for all of us, this little exercise for all of us tomorrow to wake up and really say Modeh Ani with good intention, because it's easy to start mumbling it after a while, because you know, you're saying it for a while, you know it. But if you could say it with good intention, wow, thank you, giving back my soul. And the idea, thanks to get back the soul, is really going to be the theme of the morning conduct, the washing the hands, all this. The theme is going to be that you're starting a brand new day and you are a new creation. Okay? Now the Modeh Ani does not have God's name in it, and that's very important, because the reality is that when you wake up in the morning, your hands are impure. They have what's called tumah. They have certain impurity. And that impurity comes for a variety of reasons. One reason is just that you touch parts of your body when you're sleeping inadvertently. Now, really technically, you're not supposed to, if you're, let's say, there are parts of your body that are generally exposed, your arms, you know, your face. But if a person goes, let's say, and sticks their hands under their shirt and starts scratching, or on their arm that's scratching, technically they have to wash their hands afterwards. Because it's not considered to be the ultimate in the cleanliness aspect of a person. Now, very often it's hard to do. Let's say you're learning with someone and they start scratching someplace on their leg or whatever. So then what you can do is you could do the pseudo hand wash. What's the pseudo hand wash? What do you do if you don't have water and you have to wash your hands? You can wipe your hands on something, on like a piece of wood or table, and that's called, it doesn't actually clean it like it does water, but there's some level of cleanliness. So if you touch the part of your body that's normally not exposed, where there may be sweat or other things there that will not be as clean. So, and you want to wash your hands, but if you can't, and you don't want to become a OCD person, wash your hands all day, which I do not recommend. Okay, if you're washing your hands too much, you're doing the wrong thing. Don't wash your hands too much, okay? A couple times a day, that's why you gotta wash your hands, okay? But if you're learning with someone, you're doing something, and you're scratching, so you don't want to get up and wash it, so at least do this. And you can do it between your fingers also, so you get the whole hand. That's it, it's done. Okay? Now, so one reason you wash, want to see that again?
It's on film.
So, so now, so the first reason you want to wash your hands after sleep is because your hands touch all the various parts of the body, the scratch. Now, but there's a more complicated reason why you wash your hands, and this you really need water for, okay? And this is very important because it only happens from sleeping. And that is, there is called a certain impurity that's on your hand, a spiritual impurity that has to be removed in a special way. And just putting your hand under the sink doesn't help. You should take a cup and pour 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 on each hand. Some do 1 more for good luck if you want. Some do 4, but you can do 3. But if you do 3 each, and dry your hands, because there's water from the last time you did it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And wash it. This is not like when you wash your bread, when you wash 2 times. Okay? Unless you're Chabad, which I'll explain why Chabad do 3 afterwards. But that's completely not necessary. There's a reason why Chabad does it. So I'll explain to you later, but it has nothing to do with the 3 in the morning. The 3 in the morning you need to do according to everyone. Even in Chabad, there's a difference between the morning 3, which requires, it has to be 3 to get off that level of impurity, as opposed to bread, which Chabad are accustomed to do 3 for a different reason. I'll explain to you afterwards. Now, so you can do 3 in each hand. Now, what's this impurity? Impurity is because sleep is considered 1/60th of death. Okay? So, when a person sleeps, part of their soul actually separates from them. That's why you're not conscious. Because the higher parts of your soul, which are manifest, they connect to you through your awareness, are no longer there. That means they are dissociating from you. Okay? Now, the Kabbalah say when it leaves, somehow it leaves through your hands, through your fingers. And sometimes you may become sensitive enough after you've been washing your hands for a while that actually, when you get up, you kind of feel something on your fingers. Now, it could be you're numb because you've been sleeping on your arm all night, so it could just be numbness. But it could also be that you're sensitive to something on your fingers. I feel that I do have a sensitivity to it. I sometimes even going to figure out if I slept enough time based on that. But that is a certain level of impurity because sleeping is a taste of death. Okay? It's called 1/6 of death. Therefore, you need to wash your hands 3 times and dry them in the morning with water. That's the more important reason. Now, therefore, the Modeh Ani is crucial because it only can be said without God's name because you haven't washed your hands. And your hands are impure. You can't pray until you wash your hands in the morning. And don't you know this is not enough in the morning because you have that serious impurity of this taste of death. So the Modeh Ani is kind of the only prayer that you can say because it is a prayer that does not mention God's name at all. And therefore the Modeh Ani, if you're ever in doubt, you could say it. It's not a problem because it's not a prayer that has God's name in it, and therefore, although we're going to see the rules of blessings are, when in doubt, do without. Don't make the bracha because blessings are rabbinic in nature. So if you don't know, if I say I drank this water, I don't know if I said an after bracha, an after blessing or not, then I'm not sure I should not say it again because when in doubt, do not say the blessing because the blessings are only rabbinic, except for the grace after meals. The benching is Torah, is a Torah requirement. Therefore, if you're not sure, you repeat the Shema, repeat that you have to bench again. But blessings are normally not. So if you don't know, you don't repeat it. The Modeh Ani is not a problem because the Modeh Ani doesn't mention God's name. That's why you can say it even if you're not sure, and that if you slept enough time. And that's also why you could say it the first thing upon waking. Every other blessing is only going to be said after you washed your hands. Now let me say one more thing, and I'll take a question in a second. But this is the kind of the theme of the morning I want you to understand. That really, there's a question, why do you wash your hands at all? So one question I said to you is because of impurity. But there's another reason altogether. And they're all interconnected. But remember, a person slept, that means they had a taste of death. Now means their soul's being given back to them, they're starting new. So one thing is to take the impurity of death off. But there's another reason, which is that now you're starting your brand new day. And the sages tell us, you have to look at it as you're starting your day, you are like the high priest of Israel, who when he went into the temple, he'd have to wash his hands to prepare for going to the temple. You are now the high priest of Israel, you've gotten up, you said to God, thank you for giving back my soul, I'm like a new person, you've returned life to me, and now I'm starting my day of preparation as doing this service to God, like I'm the high priest in the temple. And then the first thing I got to do is to wash my hands. So that's the other reason you wash your hands. One is your hands are not clean for the 2 reasons I mentioned. But there's another reason, because you've restarted your day, you are now beginning your day. And every day is your chance to do the service of God as a Jew. And now you have a brand new time. You're going to have to wash your hands to get that day started. Okay, those are the 2 reasons you wash your hands. The impurity, and you're like a Kohen, like a high priest of Israel, starting your day, and therefore wash your hands to prepare yourself for the service of God that's going to last until you return your soul to Him at night when you say the Shema on bed. It's the same thing. It's the whole cycle. Right? You start out, thank you for giving back my soul. You wash your hands. I'm about to do my service to God. I'm now a Jew. I can do all these things of the day. And then when the day is over, you say to God, okay, I'm giving you back my soul, the Shema, and I should take care of your soul and protect you, when you're sleeping. Because there's a Kabbalistic thing that, God forbid, could happen, that someone's soul could be switched in the morning. You don't want that happening to you. Say your Shema now. You don't want to wake up someone else's soul in the morning. That's a bummer. It could ruin your day. So you want to make sure you get the right soul. So therefore, you got to give your soul back in the proper way. That's the Shema at night. Cliff, question.
2 questions. I know you're not supposed to say a bracha if you need to go to the bathroom. For those people that wake up needing to go to the bathroom, do they say Modeh Ani?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still.
Yeah.
Okay. Second question is, let's say one doesn't sleep at night for whatever reason, shavuos learning or whatever, or forget whatever reason. What is not said? What of the morning brachas are not said?
Okay, good. All right. Okay, so
I like shavuos learning.
So okay, I'll get back to that question in a second. Let me just get back to the washing hands, how it works, because when you wake up now, so you go to the bathroom. This little last one, you gotta go to the bathroom. Now, sometimes you really have to go, you can't wash your hands. Now, one of the reasons why it's important to wash your hands in the morning is that since it has this impurity, if you touch an orifice, it could affect a person negatively. If they touch food, all these things. I think that people, I would venture to guess there's certain mental health issues that come from this. I think people who wash their hands in the morning, there's a certain separation, there's a certain clarity, and I've known people who never did it and then started doing it and felt the difference. I've known people who were religious and then strayed, but they could never not do that. There was something very much, that they tuned into already. So you can't, there's a problem of touching an orifice with your hands when you wake up from sleep. So the main reason why a person should wash his hands when he wakes up to go to the bathroom is that he shouldn't touch an orifice when he goes to the bathroom. If somebody cannot wait, they're just, they gotta make, and they're careful not to touch an orifice, then they could do it. It's not as much a religious problem as it is a physiological and spiritual problem. So if someone's out of the bathroom, and they can't wash their hands, so go to the bathroom. Just be careful. So now, but ideally, if you can wait a second, then you want to wash your hands before you go to the bathroom, so that way if you touch an orifice, then there's not going to be a negative consequence. So let's say you wake up now, and you wake up, let's talk about waking up, and now you're not going back to sleep. Let's say you woke up, and it's the morning already, and you want to wash your hands. Now you wash your hands, you go to the bathroom. And you got to wash your hands again after you go to the bathroom. There's a lot of hand washing in the morning, okay? Washing everything you want. Now, by the way, you should not wash your hands after going to the bathroom with a cup. You should not do that. You do not need to do that. It's a waste of water. It's unnecessary, and you should not do it. And I heard it in my own ears from one of the Gedolim and one of the great leaders of Israel. Scheinberg said to me in the yeshiva, I was after going to the bathroom, I'm not touching my hand, he goes, you don't need to do that. Okay. And I remember to this day.
There's always cups in bathrooms, though.
Yeah, but people do that, but you don't need to do that. You don't
There's always what? I didn't hear that.
Cups.
Cups, like we even put our cups in our bathroom.
Right. And if you do it, and if you do it after this class today, you'll have a problem because you'll have to do it the rest of your life. Because then you'll have a vow.
I just know that people do it. So
right, people do it. But the problem is that once they start acting that way, they may be obligated after doing that numerous times as if they're doing it as a vow. So if you didn't know that, you don't need to do it, so you can stop it now. But if you decide to continue washing your hands 3 times after the bathroom, then you'll have to probably continue doing that. So you don't, if you happen to do it, you can happen to do it. But you could specifically say before, I'm not taking this one as an obligation. If I do, I do. I don't, I don't. And you don't need to, after the bathroom, wash your hands with 3 times the cup. Now, so again, you wake up, you wash your hands, you have to go to the bathroom, you don't touch an orifice. You go to the bathroom, and then you could turn the faucet on, just clean your hands a little bit, okay? Now, then Effie asked me, he said, well, when do you make the blessing to wash your hands, okay? The answer is, you're best not making the blessing then at all, okay? Why? Because after you get dressed, you're going to put your shoes on. If you touch the bottom of your shoe, you're obligated to wash your hands anyway, just like you would be if you touched the party body that was not normally exposed. And you may do, you pick your shoe up, so you're still getting dressed. So the better way to do it is to get yourself dressed, fully ready, and then when you're about to daven, wash your hands before davening, and then make your blessing. That's a better way to do it. Now, it doesn't mean the same second. If you're going to wash your hands right before davening and you're going down the block to the shul, you could also make it when you get to the shul. That's okay. But it should be a last washing before you're ready to daven, that you're keeping your hands clean, and then you make the bracha afterwards. Yeah, and it goes back on everything.
Yeah. On that note, 2 things. Number 1, does that include Asher Yatzar, the blessing for the restroom? Do you also wait until you're making your Al Netilas Yadayim before davening?
Right. So the answer to that, what Effie's asking me...
Because it's in the siddur.
Yeah. I mean, Effie's asking me here, if you look in your siddur, it's... Look at 14. So in 14, it has the blessing for the bathroom, the last blessing. It's there. It's organized in the siddur. Now, Effie's saying, should you make it after you go to the bathroom, or should you make it in the, when you start the daven? Now, the truth is you could do either one. But here's the thing you need to understand. If you are likely to go to the bathroom again, or you may even go to the bathroom again before you daven, then you should say an Asher Yatzar after you went to the bathroom the first time. Okay, so for example, let's say you went to the bathroom and you washed your hands, you went to the bathroom, you got out, so you get dressed, and by the time you get to daven already, you have to go to the bathroom a second time. Okay, if that's the case, then you have a problem, because once you have to go to the bathroom a second time and you didn't make a blessing for the first time, you already lost the first blessing. In that case, you're better off making the blessing, one before and then one after you go to the bathroom the second time. If you're not going to, then you could organize it in the shul, organize mitzvah daven. That's fine. Now, if you look here on the bottom here, where it says after the blessing for the bathroom, it says at this point some people recite Elkai Neshama, which is on page 18. I told you last week that it's better to do that. The reason why I think it's better to do that is if you look at Elkai Neshama on page 18, you'll notice it's a blessing that does not start out with the word Baruch. It doesn't start out with the word blessed art thou, right? It doesn't start out with that. Now, that's what's called a connected bracha. It's connected to the blessing that happened before. So the problem is that this bracha, it's really better to connect it to a blessing that you said before that does start with Baruch. That's why I don't even know why they do it here. They say some people do that, but it seems to me that's the better way to do it. To say the blessing for the bathroom when you're ready to daven, and then connect it to the blessing on 18, which is the blessing for thanking God for giving you back your soul, which you're saying after you wash your hands, not the modani, it's a more intense version of that. But this one is connected back to the blessing, because it's a blessing that's called a bracha smucha. It's a blessing that's an adjunct to another one. It doesn't start with the word Baruch. So it's better to add that in here. So the answer to your question, Effie, is that you could do it either way. if it's fine to say the blessing for the bathroom when you get to the shul after you or when you're going to start davening after you wash hands for the last time. But if there's a chance you may go to the bathroom a second time, then you're better off saying the first time, and you won't lose anything. And then you want to say it again if you haven't gone to the bathroom a second time.
And when you come to shul again for mincha, for ma'ariv, whatever, do you then again wash with a cup 3 times before you daven, or
there's different customs.
People do that,
People
but then you
do
said
that.
after the bathroom you wouldn't.
Yeah.
So
the Rush holds that you do wash your hands with a cup when you go to when you're davening. I don't know if you have to, but after the bathroom one, I would say avoid with the cup. You don't need to do it. There's no reason to do it. But for davening mincha mar, there are those that say you should do it. So there's more of a source. That's right. And you don't need to wash with the cup when you do my machronim either. That's why I never do that, so people won't start doing that. You don't need to wash with the cup for the water after the water is for the.
So you would do Yasharatzer, then the one on 18, then you go back to 16 for the Torah brachas.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Okay. So now, let's say you're a kind of person who doesn't sleep at night.
For example, just to cover the bases.
So if you are such a person, you should definitely take NyQuil.
What's the blessing?
I try.
Blessing is watch out, here it comes. So, if you didn't sleep at night, you have a bit of a problem because there's certain blessings you can't say. You can't say the blessing for the Shema, the blessing for the Torah, which is on page, what page is that?
16.
16. You can't say that.
Which one?
All of them. The whole page 16 you can't say. I mean, you could say the from Yivarecha, that's not blessing of the Torah, that's learning Torah. But those first two blessings, you can't say that because you didn't sleep. And therefore, what happens, when you make the blessings for the morning on Torah, there's a question, wait a minute, but you didn't learn, let's say you learned Torah, so you read these lines, but you didn't stop learning Torah. Why do you have to make a blessing every time you learn Torah? Right? Let's say I had a cup of water, I made a blessing, fine. 10 hours later, I want to have another cup of water. I say, hey, I didn't make a blessing, I blessed 10 hours ago. You can't say that. How can I make a blessing for Torah? I read a couple lines of Torah. I get busy. I come in at night to learn. Why didn't you make another blessing for at night when you come to learn Torah? That's a great question. The answer is because learning Torah is different than eating. Torah is really what you should be doing all the time. It's just you have a buy now. You have to make a living. You can't survive if you can't make a living. So so you're going to get that done, and when you get it done, you go learn more Torah. So you're like on a constant state of, yes, when I get this done, I can learn Torah. So you don't even have a break. It's like, really, once I made the blessing for Torah, the rest of the day, I want to learn Torah. Now I can't because I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, I got to do that. But when I can, I'm still going back to my original blessing. I haven't taken my mind off learning Torah. That's why when you sleep in the afternoon, there may be an issue to make the blessing of the Torah. Some people say you can make it when you sleep in the afternoon. Because why? Because when you're unconscious, now you have a break. Now the custom is not to. You don't need to. You don't need to. But there is an opinion that you can go and make the blessing for the Torah if you took a nap in the day, because that's a real stop. When you're conscious, it's not a real stop from Torah. So if you stayed up all night, you can't make the blessing of the Torah. So what should you do? What do you do? There's two options. One is you get a person to make it for you. You see someone who's making the blessings, wake up in the morning. If you're out of minyan, you say to the guy, hey, can you make the blessings loud and fulfill my obligation? That's one thing you can do. The second thing you could do is turn to page 80. Don't tell me. 89. 89. So in 89, if you look at the bottom of 89, there's a blessing they say before the Shema. And it says there, look from the bottom of the page, about 2, 4, 6, 8 lines to the bottom. Our Father, the merciful Father, who acts mercifully, have mercy upon us, instill in our hearts to understand and to elucidate, to listen, learn, teach, safeguard, perform, and fulfill all the words of your Torah's teaching with love. Lie in our hearts, in your Torah. Attach our heart to your commandments. Unify our heart to love and fear your name. And may we feel inner shame for all, and may we not feel inner shame for all eternity. We trust in the great. Now that is a very, very beautiful blessing, but it also refers to a lot about Torah. So you can pray your regular morning service. When you get to this, you can think to yourself, I'm saying this, I'm thinking that's going to be my substitute for the blessing of the Torah.
Wow, very cool.
And that will be considered your blessing of the Torah. But what you got to do, though, Clifton, right after you finish davening, you got to learn a little Torah. You could say the verses on page 16, right?
Yes.
You can say those verses. You can learn the Torah.
Or the spices is also part of the Torah.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. But you have to learn right after you daven. You have to learn after you say now. You finish the Shema. You finish the Shema Esrei. But that could be instead of your blessing of the Torah. Yeah.
You start with that and then.
No. Regular davening.
In your regular davening.
In your regular davening. But when you get to that, you think to yourself, okay, this is going to be in lieu of my blessing of the Torah, which I can't say. And then at the end of davening, then you can go back to page 16 and read the parts that are the learning of the Torah from the middle of 16, from Yivrecha, Hashem bless you down, that little section. You can learn Torah, whatever you want to do. Okay, the other things you can't say, Cliff, is you cannot say, if you haven't slept all night, you can't say Elokai Neshama, that's on page 18. My God, the soul you've returned to me because you never gave your soul back that night. Right? Can't say that one.
Which one?
Page 18.
At the top.
At the top.
Oh, at the top.
Okay. You breathe it and you safeguard it within me. As long as the soul is within me, we thank who restores souls to their bodies. So they didn't give the soul back that night. And the last blessing on page 20 you can't say either. Which last blessing on page 21 says in the middle page, blessed you Hashem, who removes sleep from my eyes and slumber from my eyelids. You didn't sleep. For those you can't
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Good girl. Okay, very good. All right, so now we're rocking along. All right, so now we've covered waking up, we've covered washing our hands, we've covered a little bit. Now, I'll say a related halacha here. Let's say, sometimes you wake up and you're really, really thirsty, and you have some water by your bed.
Hey, you shouldn't have water by your bed.
What?
You shouldn't have water by
you should.
If it's not covered.
Oh yes, cover it.
Because of the snake.
Right, but we actually, so there's something called Mayim Megulin. Mayim Megulin means that there is a question if a person should drink water that was left uncovered overnight. I know in Israel we were strict about it. I know my son's very strict about it these days, but really the halacha and the custom is that you don't have to be strict about it. Though it's, and the reason... And the reason for that is because the Shulchan Aruch says that snakes are not commonly
You never
found.
know when there's snakes.
Now the truth is, I've seen so many snakes this year already, so I don't know. By the way, that was probably not a copperhead, the one you saw.
Hey, you're not supposed to tell them that now that I'm making out and cover up his
they caught the two snakes, the little copperheads. They weren't copperheads in the end.
Really?
Yeah. So I think it was not a copperhead.
Makes me feel better now.
Yeah. I think it was not a copperhead. Very Mayan. So that's the reason. Now, so maybe Georgia's different because maybe Georgia's snakes are common, but I don't know if they're in the house. And the reason why you were supposed to not drink water that was left uncovered, or why was not being uncovered, there's spiritual, mystical reasons. But the simple, basic reason was snakes, because snakes like wine. I mean, most snakes are French. They have little mustaches like this. That's the wine. The snake must. I like the wine. So they come in and they stick their heads in the wine, okay, right? And they order a filet mignon and they have a little bit of wine with it, And so what happens is when the snake drinks wine, sometimes he will put his poison in the wine or in the water. And therefore it can be dangerous to drink water or wine that's been left overnight uncovered. Now, like I said, the halacha today is, generally speaking, is that we don't have to be strict about it, because we say snakes are not really so commonly found in our homes.
But it's good to be strict.
But it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I'm sure there's spiritual reason. But I would say to you, if you didn't, it's a good thing to do. But I wouldn't say crazy about it. Like I've seen people who do like wild things with this. Like there was a little bit left in in your kettle in the morning, and you can go nutty with this. So in your kettle in the morning, there's also a little bit of water left. So you make sure you clean it out. There's no water in your kettle from the next morning. Snake drink. He was like a really hungry, thirsty snake. He was drinking the bottom thing there, So to be
covered though.
Yeah, but maybe it's a very skinny snake. He goes to the top. I don't know.
There's a wormhole.
There's a wormhole.
Oh, worm.
A worm snake. So anyway, so the idea is though that it's you can be strict about it. So it's good to be, but not to be too crazy about it. However, what I was going to tell you was this: let's say you have a water by your bed, and let's say you are really thirsty in the middle of the night. Now you got a problem because we said you could say modani, even though your hands are not clean, because they have God's name. But if you want to make a bracha on the water. And the problem is that you can't because your hands aren't clean. So according to that, technically you have to get up. You got to go to the bathroom, wash your hands.
Cold water.
Now, so that may be considered a large tircha, large hassle for most people, especially if it's going to keep you up afterwards. If you wash your hands with cold water, it'll keep you up afterwards. So what do you do?
Hold the phone. I mean, you go to the bathroom but not wash your hands afterwards?
No, let's say you're not going to the bathroom. No, you're not in the bathroom.
No, I'm talking about going to the bathroom.
Yeah, wash your hands. Wash it beforehand.
That we can do.
Yeah, that you should do. You should do.
Before.
Should wash your hands before you have to go to the bathroom, yes.
Before, not
When you wake up.
after.
When you wake up.
Yeah, after you should do also.
What am I doing it before?
No.
Oh.
Because you said
Where have
you here. You said I said because
Catch the replay.
it's in Mr. Ripley, yeah. You should wash it, Mickey.
He's
You
been
should wash your hands
sleeping.
after you go to the bathroom. Yes.
Sleeping.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a different case now. I'm
Because I
talking.
misunderstood you.
And
Because you said
now-
that'll keep me up all night.
No, now I'm talking this. I'm talking you're not going to the
There are
bathroom.
things that keep me up all night, but that isn't it.
I'm talking about no bathroom now. I'm talking like this. I'm talking you're sleeping. Okay, Mickey, you just watched the Tonys. You're exhausted.
Yeah.
You fell asleep.
Ponies are great.
You fall asleep. The Cats win this year?
You know what won all the awards?
No,
The
that
King
win.
and I.
Oh, really?
Really?
The
It's like,
King
and it's
and I.
40 years old.
Yeah, they have a revival, The King and I.
I love revivals.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you know.
Now, back to our story. So now, there's no bathroom in this discussion, Mickey. Forget the bathroom. You're sleeping. Okay, you watch the Tonys, you watched it 4 times, you tape, you watch it, you fall asleep. Now all of a sudden, you kind of get up. You're halfway, and you're really thirsty because you just drank 2 gallons of wine that a snake had not drunken from. Okay? You're really thirsty. You don't have to go to the bathroom because you're dehydrated. Now you have the water next to your bed, which is covered. It's more than covered. Right? Good thing you're covered. Now, you want to make the blessing and drink the water. Now, the problem is, though, you've been sleeping for the past 4 hours. Your hands are not clean. If you go and you make a blessing, say God's name, and you drink the water, that's a problem because you didn't wash your hands. Because your hands are impure.
What if you put your hands behind your back and or you use a straw?
But you still have to say a bracha.
No, I'm talking about saying a bracha.
No, I know what you said, your hand.
No, see, your hands matter. Your hands, you still
Oh, well,
hands.
you just said
Unless
use
you want to
your
cut them
hands.
off. If you want to amputate, then it's not a problem. But as long as you're keeping your hands as part of your body, then your hands are not clean. You're not clean. Yeah, well, your hands are part of you, right? That's
What if you sleep with moisturizer and gloves?
doesn't matter.
Yeah, or, yeah.
Means your soul's
I do
slipping
do that a
out, slipping
lot.
out through the glove somehow.
Okay.
So here I'm going to give you
Except they don't.
I'm going to give you a leniency that you could do if you need to. And because the rabbis say there's a concern that a person, when he gets up out of bed and he washes his hands, have a little bit of water, then you might not be able to fall asleep again afterwards. If you get up and you're kind of still awake, you're still sleeping, and you're thirsty. If you get up and you wash your hands, now you're up, and you can't fall back asleep. So there's a leniency to take it and to think the bracha. To think the bracha.
I wish that was the same when you have to go to the bathroom 100 times in the
What's
night.
that?
I wish that was the same if you had to go to the bathroom 100 times in the night. Because every time you have to go to the bathroom, you have to wash your hands, and it's so cold.
Oh, so you don't have to use warm water.
Then I stand there for like 10 minutes.
Waiting for the water to heat up?
Oh my gosh, yes. And you know how many times some people have to go to the bathroom throughout the night?
I do know. Yes. I've read a lot.
So keep some warm water.
Keeps him awake.
Keep some warm water next to the thing, and you have it. At night, take a big cup of hot water. Cover it, and then not cover it, and then what happens is you add a little bit into the water. You'll cool it. It'll warm it up.
Yeah, by the time I wake up, it's gonna be cold. Whatever.
No. Well, all right. Anyway, so that's just a side thing. So you can think the bracha. Then here, even though we say that thinking is not speaking, but there's a leniency here in this case. Okay, good. Now let's move on because we've done an hour and we've gotten out of bed. That's what we've done. The day of the Jew. I guess that's to stop now.
We're very contemplative Jews.
Before we even get out.
Let's go back to waking up. I want to hear it again. You're right.
Okay, so.
But there is a certain amount of distance too.
Huh? Oh, for washing your.
Yeah, but it's considered. Oh, you're.
Let's go.
He wants you to move along. Dragon is.
So this is important.
It's important. See, honey.
See, so you'll see that there are many people who leave water by their bed and wash their hands by it. Now, why do they do that? The reason why they do it is as follows: because there is technically. You're not supposed to even walk 6 feet between when you wake up until you wash your hands.
But there is an opinion. I'm sorry.
So that is why you see Hasidim do that. Hasidim all do that. I used to do that in yeshiva, but it becomes a very, very messy habit.
It's everywhere.
Do what? I'm sorry. Do what?
What people do is they leave a bowl.
You get the Judaica store.
And they have a water next to their bed. And when they wake up in the morning, they don't go wash their hands in the bathroom. They wash their hands right next to their bed, and they take that out and they dump it out in the.
And they have to refill it for like their husband or wife or whatever.
That's what Hasidim all do that.
And they do it because you're not supposed to walk?
Because they don't want to walk in with the impurity, more than 6 feet with the impurity on their hands. Now,
what's the deal with the walking?
No, because it's
you might forget.
Not like that. You're not supposed to leave it on an extended period of time. So it's considered like if it's extended period of time and you're already doing other things, you're going to a new domain. 6 feet's like a new domain. So it's not only you're here, you're like
So if someone's in the hospital, are you supposed to wash the hands for them?
What's that?
People that are in hospitals, they don't necessarily get out of bed. You're supposed to wash their hands for them? Like every day? Because that's a long period of time of impurity?
What's the leniency? You can walk around 6 feet?
So the halacha is, though, that the Rashba brings down that if you are underneath a roof, it's all considered 1 feet, because opposed to 6 feet. Because the reality is that we say it's going to a new domain. Usually 6 feet's a new domain. When I'm carrying on Shabbos, I can't. And by the way, we're working really hard to get this error done.
Yeah, it's really.
I'm pressuring. You don't know what I'm pressuring them, and they're really trying very hard. I mean,
there are 2 big jobs left.
I know.
And I'm walking for 285 tomorrow.
Yeah. So.
On top of all your other tasks this week.
Well, tomorrow afternoon.
So the halacha is, though, that you can rely on, and I do this today, I don't do anything by my bed anymore, so it's a very messy thing. You can rely on the Rashba that says that all under one roof is the same domain. So no difference if you're at 6 feet or you're not 6 feet, how far away you are, because you're in your house. Which means if you're camping, then you may have a different issue. Camping, you may have to put something if the the bathroom is far away, you may have to put the water closer to you. But if you're in your house, then you can rely on the Rashba that says that you can, it's all one domain, there's no problem with 6 feet, and you could go and wash it. That makes it a lot easier.
How serious is that whole covering of the water thing?
The cup of water that you're drinking?
Covering for drinking? I told you, I said, the luchas, you don't really need to do it. I mean, but you know, it's like, why not? You know, I mean, I'm sure there's spiritual reasons also, but if you know, so I usually cover my water before I go to bed, but I'm not crazy about it because I say that I'm assuming there's not, snakes are not common in the house. But you know, so I wouldn't be crazy about it, but at the same time, probably no reason not to do it. Unless there's some reason you can't, you know. Okay, good. So we've woken up. We've washed our hands. We made a few brachos. And
Yeah, we've gone to the bathroom.
We got to the bathroom. Being that we're out of time, I recommend you go back to sleep after this. So just wake up, wash your hands, say Meo De'ani, and go back to sleep.
Bedtime Shema.
Bedtime Shema.
We talked about prayer, so you can get up and pray at least.
You can pray. We did pray last night, right? So you can get up and pray. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on another 5 minutes or so. Okay, fine. So that's, you've covered that. Now really, you want to daven. So ideally, you want to daven first thing in the morning because if you push off davening, it's not. You'll find that it doesn't work. So you really push daven first thing in the morning. Men for sure, women as best you can. And I said, women at least if you said the blessings for the Torah, then you've, according to some opinions, done a davening. But it's for men for sure. You have to daven before. You try daven first thing. And women too, as much as possible. Now, the halacha is that, and before you daven, they don't want you doing anything. They don't want you greeting people.
Reading people?
Greeting people.
What about if you're still in bed? You're checking Facebook and do all these things on your phone. You haven't gotten out of bed yet.
Right. So the problem really here is more, you're not supposed to go to somebody specifically and greet them. So for example, if you're walking to shul, you can greet somebody. But you shouldn't, the pasuk says, don't go out of your way to go and attend to others before you've spoken to Hashem. Now that means if someone greets you, you can greet them back, and you could greet someone you see along the way. But the custom is not to say Boker Tov. You could say it in English, good morning. Today for us, I guess it's, like in the Talmud says, you say it in a way that you shouldn't say the word shalom. You say the word shalom to people in the morning before you wash. Which on Shabbos is a big issue, because you have to say good Shabbos. Don't say Shabbat Shalom to people before you daven. Because shalom is one of God's names.
Yeah. So what do you say?
How about waking up and taking care of family members?
Yeah, you have to do that.
I mean,
hold on,
I'm saying children. Well, no, children for sure, but also, you get up in the morning and before you daven, you pack someone's lunch who may not be a child, or
Right.
things like that. Is that? I mean, because that is attending to somebody other than God before.
Yeah, but I think there's a leniency in
Some
terms
things
of
have to happen.
Especially if you have a minion that you go to. If there's some reason that you can't do it, then it's not.
I'm saying if I don't have a minion, but they're just somebody has to get out of the house and you've got time limits and
I guess
that's
you
what
have to do
I'm
it.
saying. So
isn't there a certain period?
But again, you have to do it. But I'm saying, but in general, your modus operandi wants to be davening as soon as you can, as early as you can, and not to get involved with other things before as much as possible. When you have to, you have to. But that's now. So let's say we person davens. Now they after davening, what's the next thing you do?
learn.
Yeah. Ideally, it would be to learn, and it's unfortunate that we need to speak to the president about making work times less hours in a day.
Amen.
I think we need to explain to him that we need more time for learning. Yeah. Listen, he could do it. Maybe just write a bill.
Is there a certain period of time when you can start praying? Like for me, that when I leave at like 5:30 or I leave at like 6 in the morning, The sun hasn't risen.
Or like I'll get up and run sometimes before.
Yeah, and they're heteroterm for doing things like that, for sure. They're heteroterm for exercising before. If it's the only time you could exercise before you daven, it's the only time you could do it. There'd be heteroterm to do that also. It's not that's taking care of your health. It's not trying to be I don't care about it.
But if you did have to go to go into work, let's say.
Right.
And you didn't feel comfortable playing at work.
Right.
What do you do?
So meaning, and it's too early otherwise.
Yeah, you have to go to school to
or breakfast maybe.
Yeah, go to
where you're with people when the sun is rising.
So how now if it's after the time of Mishiyak here, which is it's the time you recognize your friend from a distance of 6 feet, which is about 54 minutes before sunrise, what it usually is about, and you can find the times on Maizmanim, then you can start davening. How early when you leave? What time do you leave?
Like between 6 and 6:30.
Especially in the winter when
Let's see exactly what the time is, so we'll see right now.
I mean, it doesn't matter right now because school's out.
Well, but the earliest time is in the summer, so.
No, I know, but.
Yeah, it says, right now, it says the earliest time you could say the Shema is 5:30.
I know, but that's now, but.
5:32.
5:32.
But I'm saying that's not applicable right now. It's going to change by the time the school year starts.
But it's got later.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's.
Well, right at first when the time changes, but as it goes on a few weeks.
It becomes later.
No, it gets a little bit earlier, I think.
Well, the summer is the earliest.
Yeah, it's the earliest. It's the winter.
So again,
I know, like at some young, they actually
check December 21st.
Well, no, but I've been at minyanim where you put on your tefillin before you start davening, and then without a bracha, and then they announce like partway through davening, like now you can make a bracha.
Oh, interesting.
Right. That's what.
That's a minyan for people who have to go to work.
That's an Atlanta reality, because Atlanta is very, very late. I don't know if you realize it's because we should be in the Central Time Zone.
Oh, I know it's late.
So
when I go to work when it's dark and I come home when it's dark.
What's the time we work?
Before they try to empty the carpetbaggers. So I'll put
well,
it
you could say all the prayers before the Shema, and then say the Shema.
No, I can't do that. The thing
right now it's not a problem because I can
right now is that the dawn. The time of the Mishiach here is the time when you could say the Shema, and really you're not supposed. If you said the Shemona Esrei from dawn, which is about that, be about a little bit earlier, like I don't know.
You mean Al Hashachar?
Yeah, if you say it from dawn to Al Hashachar, then you fulfilled your commandment, but it's not. You're not supposed to do it, especially not on a regular basis, unless you have no other option. Now, if it's a woman, so you're gonna say the blessings of the Torah. You can say that from earlier, actually.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you could say everything before the Shema, correct?
Well, like Adam, do you remember in the winter how late does Mishiach get when they announce it?
Yes, you could say that.
Everything before the Shema.
Yeah.
And then say
But the problem really, the main thing is the Shema and the Shemona Esrei.
No, I know, but that's really it.
So,
you could say everything up until then.
Right. Okay. We'll have to come at it. It's a little complicated. We'll have to see in terms of what the time is and how often it is. Let's go on a couple more things. So now, yes, hopefully you could try to get some learning in. Even a little bit of learning is good then. Now, then you're going to come to eat. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about bread in the morning. What do you think?
No bread ever.
No bread ever?
He's gluten-free.
Even gluten-free bread? It's the
Yeah,
bread,
we're
it's
talking
the
about
carb or
before
it's the
you
gluten?
Oh, in the morning, it's the carb then.
Carb, you don't like the carb in the morning.
You shouldn't have carbs in the morning.
Because the sugar, or the...
How come?
Because of the hormone balances and how the adrenals work, and I mean it's long. I don't know how to explain it simply, but you should have protein in the morning. A little bit of carb is fine.
You'll crash.
You should have protein in the morning.
Yeah, and what time are you talking about? The first thing you wake up? So the thing is, the problem when you talk about the eating habits in the Talmud and our eating habits today, and even the food, everything is completely different. That's one of the problems. First of all, they ate 2 meals a day, not 3.
Morning and night?
They ate one meal late morning and 1 meal at night. That's when they ate. So they weren't. That's when they ate what's called a meal. A meal was a bread-based thing, but you got to remember the way things worked there. It was like that was what sustained them, and that lasted the day. So you know, so they did eat bread, but they didn't eat it as early as we do.
The bread was also different.
Bread was also different.
Is this the general population, or is this Jewish?
No, the Talmud says how pashachris, this kind of bread in the morning, would give a person strength and ability to sustain it.
But they would get up and work for a while first.
That's right. That's right. And they're working. A lot of difference. It's a very different phenomenon today what food is and what food is not anymore.
Well, that's what was around here in the morning.
Let's go through just some of the brachos a second. We only have like 2 minutes. Just some of the brachos for eating now, and then we'll stop for this. We'll cover a lot of them. So now,
Part 2.
if you are going to then eat bread, you need to wash your hands for bread. Okay? How many times?
2.
Well, it depends who you ask.
And why do Chabad wash their hands 3 times? What's the sources?
First time is because your hands are dirty.
That's right.
Yeah, first time is to clean your
The
hands.
first time is because the Shulchan Aruch says, what happens if your hands are dirty? Your hands are dirty. Okay, you've just been going and doing stuff, and you're in the fields, and you've been working, and your hands are filthy. Now, if you can't just wash your hands 2 times, because the 2 times you're washing your hands is not for cleanliness, your hands are clean. The first time is to get is for the halachic reasons of washing hands for bread, and the second time is to wash off the water that's still on your hands from the first time. But if your hands are filthy, then you're not even washing your hands. So the halacha, therefore, if your hands would be filthy, you put 1 time to clean your hands, and then 1 time for the spiritual washing, and then 1 time to wash the water is off. I wash like Chabad if my hands are dirty. I sometimes even use soap sometimes. Yeah.
Is you gonna eat bread?
Before I wash my hands, yeah, my hands are dirty.
So you wash it before you wash it with the cup?
Yeah, my hands
So-
are dirty, don't you?
I do too, but I just always did it anyways, but
Right.
If you wash with soap, though, do you still need to do the 3 times?
It's also because I'm a
for
teacher,
bread,
and there's a lot of
For bread
times.
you do.
What?
You want?
2.
Oh, 2.
Right.
2 for bread, right.
So that's why, now, Minhag Chabad, I'm assuming, I guess, you know, they say, I'm not sure if it's, that's the root of it. I don't know why that's the Minhag Chabad, if it's because it's a problem that you may forget, it's a problem you think your hands are clean and they're really dirty. I'm not sure how that became the Minhag in Chabad. The root of that is that your hands are dirty. That's the important Shulchan Aruch. Why the Baal Tanya, why the Alter Rebbe went and said everyone should do it 3 times, I don't really know. You know why it's 3 times? I assume it's across the board for Chabad because maybe your hands are dirty. However, the Ashkenazi custom is not, you don't need to wash your hands 3 times unless your hands are dirty. And if your hands are dirty, I probably would tell you, join the 21st century and use some soap, you know, and maybe just do that instead. So I think that you know, if your hands are dirty, it's probably a good idea to clean them. It's probably a good sanitary habit to be in. So the Ashkenazi custom is 2 times, but that's assuming your hands are clean. Okay, now you wash 2 times. Okay, now when you wash the first time, do a nice good amount. Okay, if you do what's called a revius, which is about that much on the first time, that's good. That gives you a good thing. That will make your hands pure, and you'll avoid a lot of problems. And you should try to go up to your wrist. People just do they do these things like they do like they're like they're at the tea party. You know.
Is this do you do the same thing at a cemetery when you leave it?
Cemetery, you have to wash 3 times, like you do in the morning.
Like you do in the morning. You
Or
don't
even
say
4 times because you're not going to dry it. Usually they have a custom to leave the hands
4
wet.
times?
Because again, the 3 times and 4 times in the morning it's 3 times and then you're drying it. But in the cemetery, very often you don't dry it, so they wash the 4th time to wash off the water from the 3rd time. That's what I do.
And then you don't say a blessing.
No. So now when you're washing bread in the morning, you wash for bread, 2 times. If you're Chabad, you do 3 times. And then do a nice amount for the first time on each hand. Make sure you do a good amount, so then washes it off, and get up to the knuckles. Get up to not to the knuckles. Even though there is an opinion that holds like that, that's probably why people. It's not on halacha. You go up to your wrist. The way to do it is to cup your hands a little bit. Okay, cup your hands, and then you kind of when you pour it, you can turn it up so that it'll get to all the parts of it. Okay.
Why cup it though?
Because otherwise, how do you get the water to every part of your hand? If you go like this, then this is totally not going to be wet. Do that. What?
Sideways, yeah.
So, so remember how this Gemara says. It says for Til Shadayim it's up and for Malachim it's down.
He's gonna do this now.
No, we don't keep our hands down like that.
What you say when you say the bracha?
No, when you wash it, keep the hands this way, pour 2 times on their hand, try to keep it so it'll touch all the parts of your hand. Now, you make the bracha, you can pick your hands up and say Netilas Yadayim. Now, when you're going to eat bread...
Wait, 1 minute. Right, so after you do that, then you get a towel?
Yeah, use towel. Yeah.
Okay.
You see the blessing and then you get a towel.
Ideally a clean one. Ideally a clean one.
So you can wipe your hands.
You should wipe your hands.
After you say the blessing.
You must wipe your hands. You should not eat bread with wet hands.
After you say the blessing, then you wipe your hands.
Yes.
I've heard that you're not supposed to use your...
Right.
And then before you eat the
don't wipe
bread, you
your
gotta
hands
wash
on
your
your
hands
pants.
again?
Because your mother told you not to do that. What?
You wash your hands again before you eat the bread.
No, that's it. Talk about washing for the bread right now. For the bread, and dry your hands well.
Yes,
you're not supposed to eat with wet hands bread. It's called disgusting. Talmud says you're a pig. So it says, this is gross. Don't do that. So make your hands are dry. Don't wipe your hands on your shirt. Don't wipe it on your friend's shirt. Get a towel. I hope you get a clean towel. Now, okay, so now you're going to make a motzei lechem arts. Better if you can put 10 fingers on the bread, it's even better. It's better because there's 10 words in Hashem, 10 words. And there's a whole thing about 10 in there, so maybe you put both your hands on it. You pick it up and say God's name. Motzei lechem arts. And now the reason why we kind of cut it before, we say I cut it a little bit before, it's kind of not so necessary today anymore. The reason why you do it is because good old bread was hard on the outside. It was like, I don't know if you've ever had bread that's like, stone ground bread. It's hard. And you can take you 20 minutes to get through the bread. So you made... Right, that's why he has the knife. Right. Yeah, that knife is not for our challah. So, you take 20 minutes to get to the bread. So you made a bracha, and you got to eat right afterwards. So that's why the custom is to start the cut, so that way...
On the bottom or the top?
On the top. Well, okay, that's on Shabbos question. Now it's not Shabbos, you have one bread. You start the cut because you want to be able to cut it right away. It's kind of not so necessary in our bread because it takes you no difference, especially if you start looking for your scratch. That's right about the point. But okay, if I do that, but that was really done for bread that was hard. Now the custom is if you don't have high blood pressure, you try to dip in salt 3 times. That's the custom. I'm not going to go through why. We had a class in why. It was 3 times. What?
You said why one time.
Yeah.
You said it's not really necessary because there's salt in the challah.
Right. So, but I explained I'll give once a class on the mystical reasons, and I said how salt was 3 times was the numerical value of I forgot already what it was, and the whole thing. We explained the whole class. But bread is considered kindness. The salt is considered judgment. We dip it in the kindness. We don't pour the judgment on top of the kindness.
Some people that take their salt on, you shouldn't do that.
Dip it inside. Now, I said though, and I told you we had cases. We had a case of somebody once who I mean, they make fun. It was just strange because they came to the shul. Okay, so they drove on Shabbos. Okay, I'm not. and they weren't even necessarily Jewish, and they were doing. But then when I didn't dip the bread in the salt, they were aghast. I was like, all right,
Gotta drop
you know.
one, sorry.
I mean, like, you know, I'm not judging you. I'm like, but like, you know, okay. I was like, they were ready to walk out.
They weren't even Jewish?
They weren't even Jewish. Like, they thought they were Jewish, they weren't really Jewish, or they were, you know, a quarter Jewish. But they were aghast. And the reality is it's a custom, and it's a good custom. However, it's brought in Shulchan Aruch that specifically one of the reasons why you dip in salt on the simple level, not the mystical level, is you make your bracha on something that tastes good. You make a bracha on something that tastes flat. So you got to put your bread in salt so it has some taste. Now, our breads, though, already in Shulchan Aruch is always made with salt. Your bread is already made with salt. And therefore, so if you see me not waiting because of the salt's in the back, you know, people are like, just say salt! We know you're allowed to say it now! The reason why you can't talk is you shouldn't make a hefsek, a break between what you're doing. But if you're going to go, sounds like Holt! No, you don't have to do that. You can just say salt. That is not a break because you're talking about the mitzvah. But I don't even do that. If a guy's got to schlep their back to get the salt, just make the bracha without the salt. Okay? Okay, stop being sincere. Just make the bracha without the salt. There's salt in your bread. Just make the bracha. Let's go on already. All right?
I've never used salt.
So yeah, and that's why I even sometimes I'm trying to avoid salt also. But people are looking, so I'll dip it away from the salt. It's like, hey, you think you missed the salt?
No,
I was
it's better if you use iodized salt. You know, it's like
so.
Hey, I like iodized
So
salt.
I don't even put in the salt for myself. I just sometimes from the shul I don't want people to think that I'm a guy that I'm not dipping my bread in the salt. But I'll pass on it because I don't want high blood pressure, you know. So I got enough salt, you know. So I'll just skip the salt altogether. But this brings me to the other point. We'll end with this now. Is that people make a mistake when they're washing their hands. What they do is they won't talk after they wash their hands and they made the bracha, but they will talk while they're washing their hands before the bracha. That's a mistake. Actually, it's worse. It's worse to talk when you're washing your hands before you make the bracha.
Why?
Because then you just separated from the act of washing your hands to making the bracha. Now.
No, while you're doing, not right before.
What's wrong with talking while you're washing your hands?
Because now you're washing your hands. You wash your hands and you make the bracha.
You need to focus.
Technically, here, let me explain something. Technically, washing your hands is a little bit funny. Because when I do a mitzvah, I make the bracha before the mitzvah, not after the mitzvah.
Right.
So wouldn't it make more sense to say, Baruch Hashem, and then wash my hands?
It would.
That's what you should do. But the problem is, we're assuming your hands are dirty. They're not clean. That's why you're washing your hands. So we only make a bracha now. So we're saying, okay, wash the hands first. Make sure they're still wet. And then it's kind of like you're making the bracha in the act of washing. Normally, the blessing goes before the act. By washing, it's going after the act. So you should not wash your hands, keep talking, blah, 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 blah. I hope the rabbi remembers the salt this time, you know. and then afterwards, you know, dry your hands, and then see someone else who's talking. It's better not to talk then. Now, you shouldn't talk after you dry your hands either, but that's less of a problem. It's a bigger problem if you're washing your hands, talking, and then making the bracha. If you washed your hands and you made the bracha, you should dry your hands and not talk. Again, make the bracha when your hands are still wet. Not talk. But if you did talk, you don't need to wash your hands again because you already made the bracha. The only time you need to wash your hands again is if you, for some bizarre reason, decide to get your hands filthy. If you washed your hands with bread and you said, before I have this bread, I think I'm going to stick my hands in some cement. Then you have a problem on your hands. Then you have to wash your hands a second time. But otherwise, if your hands are staying clean, then you don't need to make another bracha. Just shut up for the next time, stop talking, and then wait till the blessing happens on the bread. Okay? And as I said before, if you need to talk about the bracha, someone forgot the knife, or they forgot the salt, then you can just say, please pass the salt. You don't have to, do the whole movie thing, you don't have to do the charades, because that's part of the mitzvah, okay? As well as I said, you could skip the salt altogether if you have to, because there's salt in your bread. Okay, that's it for, so we got part of our day.